In some cases, it's necessary to pay your taxes based on individual sales. So, for example, in some states, it's required to take the taxes for a major unit sale over to the DMV immediately, or the same day or the same week that the sale was actually posted. And in those cases, what you're going to be doing is selling or paying taxes off an individual invoice. Now, there's a way to tell Lizzy to actually create a separate purchase order for every sale that will allow you to take all the taxes for that sale, put them on a PO, and then pay the purchase order to pay the DMV. And then those taxes are then reduced off of the monthly tax report automatically when you go to pay the taxes for your part sales. So in this video, we're going to go through how to actually set that up and some of the things that you need to know. Now, in the previous video, I walked you through how to set up tax vendors, how to go in and set them up as a government agency. And then over here, we can tell it to, earlier we talked about the report as, which is for the tax report itself. And then we also have these tax vendor accounts here that we can use as well. Now, the tax vendor drop list, it's going to show me a list of my departmental agencies that we've set up, and it basically allows me to create a purchase order when I'm paying taxes through the tax report to get it to go in and create the purchase order or whatever it is that I'm doing. And so it is used for that purpose as well. The major unit tax vendor, and basically if this is not set, it will fall back to this to do what I'm fixing to tell you. But so just to give you an example, we pay taxes to the state of Ohio. And so when I sell a major unit, I need to also pay taxes to the clerk of courts for the taxes for that major unit sale. So the state of Ohio stuff is what I'm going to do once a month when I'm going through and paying my sales tax. And the clerk of courts is something I'm doing all the time, as I sell units. So in that configuration, I'm going to set up a tax vendor and have it set to be who I'm going to pay for the taxes. So I'll create a purchase order for the total amount of part sales taxes that I've done. And then I'm also going to set a major unit tax vendor, and that tells Lizzy that this is the vendor I want to actually create a purchase order for every single time I sell something or major unit something. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit this California tax here just to kind of show you how this works. So at this point, what I want to do is I'm going to set a California Department of Revenue. Now, remember in my configuration, the tax vendor that I pay the state tax to is different than the clerk of courts that I'm going to pay. So I'm actually going to create a clerk of courts, put in their address and other information, and then set them up as a government agency as well. So in this case, what I would normally do is actually pick the clerk of courts here to do this particular setting for. But in this example, I'm just going to pick California. So I've now told it that whenever I pay taxes for major unit invoices, I want them to go and create a purchase order for this particular vendor. The next thing that I have to do, and this is only for the scenario that I'm talking about, and it's only for the taxes that you want to have go over to a purchase order, I'm going to also select that I want to send major unit taxes to a purchase order. So basically what is going to happen if let's say I have a county tax and a state tax on that invoice, and I have both of them set to go to a purchase order, and I've set them both to send to major unit purchase order when I cash out. What will happen is that when I cash out that invoice, Lizzy will automatically go create a purchase order for this vendor for whatever the amount is of the taxes for that particular invoice. And it will also contain unit information and stuff so that when I print out that purchase order, I can actually take it to the DMV with me with all the information that I need. So if you have, and there's not that many states that do this, but if you happen to be in a state where you're required to pay your DMV taxes separate from your over-the-counter taxes, this might help in making sure that stuff is done properly and kind of streamline things for you. So it's at least worth a look to see if it might save you a little bit of time.